The night hung heavy with a cloak of darkness, and the moon, a pale sliver in the vast sky, cast an eerie glow on the road ahead. It was a night that whispered of mysteries and secrets hidden in the folds of time. My curiosity and adventure-loving spirit had led me to this desolate path that wound through dense woods and rocky terrain, all in pursuit of the elusive Temple of Shadows. I had heard tales of this ancient temple from the locals, legends passed down through generations. They spoke of a place cloaked in darkness, where the spirits of the past still roamed, seeking something they could never find in life. I couldn't resist the allure of such a place, and with the help of old maps and cryptic directions, I had set out on this moonlit journey. My trusty jeep rattled along the uneven terrain, the headlights slicing through the night like a solitary beacon. The forest pressed in on both sides, their towering trees and tangled underbrush seeming to reach out for me, to beckon me deeper into their heart. The only sound was the distant chirping of crickets and the echo of my own breath. The road had grown rougher, and I could feel the car straining against the obstacles that lay in our path, but my determination drove me forward, and I pressed on, guided by the dim light of the moon and the maps that had brought me here. As I navigated the twisting road, the forest seemed to close in around me, like a living, breathing entity. The air grew heavy with a sense of foreboding, and my heart quickened its pace. There was no turning back now. I was committed to uncovering the secrets of the Temple of Shadows. Hours seemed to stretch into eternity, and I began to doubt the accuracy of my maps. Just when despair threatened to overtake me, I glimpsed something through the trees, the outline of an ancient structure, partially obscured by the looming foliage. It was the temple, or what remained of it. I parked the jeep as close as I could and stepped out into the night. The temple stood before me, a haunting silhouette against the moonlit sky. Its stones were weathered, and the passage of time had taken its toll, yet its aura of mystique and dread remained untouched. I approached cautiously, my footsteps echoing in the stillness. The temple was a sprawling complex, its walls adorned with cryptic symbols and carvings that seemed to writhe and come to life in the pale moonlight. The entrance beckoned, and I pushed open the heavy stone door. The air was thick with the scent of ancient incense, and the temperature dropped noticeably. Candles flickered on the altar, casting eerie shadows on the walls. It was as if the temple had been frozen in time, waiting for a visitor who had been long expected. I explored the temple's chambers, each one filled with relics of a forgotten era. But as I ventured deeper, a sense of unease settled over me. It was as though I was being watched, and the temple itself seemed to pulse with a malevolent energy. I finally reached a chamber that appeared to be the heart of the temple. An ornate altar stood in the center, and strange symbols were etched into the stone floor. As I approached, a gust of wind extinguished the candles, plunging the chamber into darkness. Panic surged through me, and I fumbled for my flashlight. In the beam of light, I saw something that sent a shiver down my spine. A shadowy figure, tall and indistinct, standing before the altar. It seemed to be neither solid nor ethereal, but something in between, as if it were trapped between worlds. A voice, ancient and cold, whispered through the chamber, sending chills down my spine. "You seek the secrets of the Temple of Shadows," it said, its words echoing in the darkness. I could only nod, unable to find my voice. The figure beckoned me closer, and I felt compelled to obey. As I approached, I could see its eyes, glowing like fiery coals in the darkness. It spoke again, revealing the temple's horrifying truth. "This temple holds the souls of those who sought power beyond mortal comprehension," it said. "They are trapped here. unable to move on, forever tormented by their insatiable desire for knowledge. As the figure spoke, the chamber began to shake, and the walls seemed to close in around me. I realized that I had awakened something ancient and malevolent, something that had been dormant for centuries. My pursuit of forbidden knowledge had brought me face to face with a force beyond my understanding. In that moment, I knew I had to escape. I turned and ran, the voice of the figure and the echoes of its warning following me as I fled the temple. The night seemed darker, more menacing than before, as if the very forest had turned against me. I reached my jeep and sped away from the accursed place, my heart pounding with terror. The temple had exacted a price for my curiosity, and I knew I would never be the same again. As I drove through the winding forest, I couldn't shake the feeling that the shadows still clung to me, that the malevolent presence of the Temple of Shadows would forever haunt my dreams, a constant reminder of the darkness that lurked in the heart of the ancient world. Like, share, and subscribe.